Let's keep on.
Hey, it's Danny.
And that's up.
Couple sips.
Cue music.
Oh, oh, oh.
Yo, so this is our first video. And I guess we wanted to talk to y'all about how we met because my wife has been doing a YouTube channel with her mother. So if you want to see any of those videos, make sure you go check out Mosaic TJ Randolph.
Mosaic by TJ Randolph.
Mosaic by TJ Randolph. If y'all want to go watch any of that. But there's been some people who've been asking about Danny and her personal life or who I am. So this is your first time seeing me. Hello.
Okay.
And yeah, that's why we made the channel. So
Yeah, basically, because I really had no desire to ever have my own YouTube. My mom got me in here, was like, you're married, you're a millennial, you'll have a good perspective on stuff. And I was like, Mom, I'm good, I'm out of my business. But I think I started doing it like, 3-4 months ago?
yeah.
And yeah, it's just been a place where I share my wisdom, but I've been getting asked by the people who are on my mom's channel to do my own. So basically, in a nutshell, we're just gonna be sharing our wisdom. Me and my husband have really great conversations off camera all the time. And I was like, well, shoot, we could just record those and see if people like it.
Yeah, because I mean, by the end of the day, it's like, it's our own opinion. I don't think we like, I don't feel like we trying to like change your life for you to change up how you think or, well, I wouldn't even say change how you think. I want you to have a different perspective maybe.
Yeah.
But just because I have a different perspective doesn't mean that your perspective's wrong. I always tell Danny it's like the 6 or 9 type of situation. One person looks at it from this view, it looks like a 6, but if you look at it from this view, it looks like a 9. So it doesn't mean that it's wrong, but I think it's still important for you to grasp that perspective is everything from different people's points of view. So we're just here to give our perspective.
And yeah, we called the channel A Couple Sips because, me and my husband, we're actually really good cooks. I bake, and he's a great low-key mixologist. So we just,
Can't be put my information out there.
you said you're really good. So like we do a couple sips because, each week, he'll make a drink, or shoot, I could be creative one day and make a drink, and we just take a couple sips. And so I thought it would be fun to do. But it's just basically this whole channel will be just about sharing a perspective on different topics. We may see a video we talk about, or we may just pick a topic to talk about. So with this first episode, I guess, it's really just us talking about how we met, because I think it's good to share, because a lot of people think that, because we're a Christian marriage, where our foundation of our marriage is God. We do not serve any other gods. That's how we live our marriage.
Jesus. Because,
Jesus.
Yeah, some people reference God as all types of stuff.
Yeah,
so.
let's be Jesus Christ. He died for our sins.
Yeah.
We believe he came and rose again. That's the God that we serve, to be specific. So, but most Christian couples, they see only one way of meeting the man of God that everyone is just so gung-ho on finding. But our situation was completely unorthodox. Like, something that we really wouldn't suggest any of y'all to do, to be quite honest. But it's just something we wanted to share, just to know that it's okay to not meet someone in the traditional church way. Because I guess like traditional, I didn't grow up in church, so I'll ask, because you did, the traditional way is like you meet the girl at church, right? Or you meet her at some worship night or whatever. Is that the normal Christian way of meeting somebody?
I mean, I wouldn't say that's like the normal Christian way, but like I honestly don't think anybody meets people like most Christian people don't meet people like that. Like,
but they be boosting it on social media though. They be acting like if you're not a pastor, you met him at church on a Sunday, or you met him the Lord told you. I was just like, okay, I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but it's just, I feel like it's so
I still don't think that's the way like the most Christian people meet people. I think most Christian people still just meet people from being like in places of interest. Like,
okay.
School or gym or, a family function or wherever, now hopefully you not, be weary if you meeting somebody at your family function. But I'm just saying, there's somewhere where like there are common interests. So
Okay.
if that would happen to be church, possibly, but because church, I think people view it as more so of just like oh, I'm only here to worship. I'm not here to, because it can be awkward. Like you going to church and then you start dating somebody and then you'll break up, and now you going to the same
True.
place to worship, but yeah, you got to see that person that you broke up with, and
Yes, there's
so like I don't think that that's how most people would meet their people, but I'm sure there are people who have, but I don't think that's the statistic norm,
Okay.
of how that will work.
Okay, well, I guess just for us, I met my husband. We were both still in college. He was basically graduated. I still had another year because I think I was a senior or like junior because I was 22. So I think that was 2016 we met, right? And then I graduated 2018. So yeah, I was basically like junior, and then I had another year, and then senior. So I was a junior.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was a junior in college, and you were basically graduated, right?
Yeah, I was finished. I had already walked, but I just had to do like my internships to finish out.
Right.
My degree plan.
Okay, so when I actually met Kevon, it was the worst time of my life, quite frankly. If you would have told me at 22 I was going to meet my husband when I was basically homeless, I would have said that's funny, because with me not growing up in church, I went to, relationship conferences and stuff like that, trying to get ready to be that wife they talk about. And everything I always heard in those conferences is that you need to be a complete person, you need to be walking in your purpose, da 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 da. And I'm like, I'm over here struggling, just trying to make it, I'm not, at least according to what church would dictate, I'm not a complete person right now. I don't have my credit together and my money together. I haven't secured the bag, like they say now. So I was just, go ahead.
Well, what did you mean? You said before this, like, you was basically struggling to make it, or I think you said you was like homeless or something. I don't know what phrase you used, or what did you mean by that?
Well, when I say secure, okay, was it secure the bag or something?
No, you said something along the lines of like,
oh, when church says you got to be a complete person or something.
Before that, you said something along the line like you were meeting when we had met. You were.
I wasn't expecting to meet you at that time in my life because I was struggling.
Yeah,
like I was homeless. Basically.
Yeah, what do you mean? Like, describe homeless. Like, what do you mean by?
Oh,
homeless?
that.
Was
okay.
You living up under a bridge with a sign?
No. Okay.
That
okay.
was like, twerking for change.
Really?
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You left that to be interpreted. So I'm like, what do you mean by that?
Okay. Anyway, as you all know, my husband is very petty.
We'll see something jingle.
Anyway, okay, so when I say homeless, I was basically couch hopping. I didn't have an apartment.
Okay.
I had everything that I owned in my little Honda Fit at the time, because I was looking for a place to stay, but I had a friendship that ended very horribly. So I ended up having to find another place to live, like, overnight. And how we met is that his fraternity brother was my close guy friend at the time, and he had saw me on campus. I didn't even ask him because I was just in shock of how badly the friendship ended, because the friend I had, I was living with, and she just packed my bags for me and just said it's time for me to go with no explanation. So I was very, hurt, dealing with a lot. But his frat brother, my friend, was like, hey, I see you, I don't know what's going on. I told him what happened. He's like, okay, well, you can come stay with me. I got an empty room in my house. Don't worry about rent. I was like, ooh, okay, great. So when I went to the house the day of, he opened the door. I was like, I don't know who this dude is. And I was like, hi. I was like, what's going on? So I moved into the room that was next to him. And when I moved in, I didn't talk to anybody for a month, because I was going through a lot. So I was no interest trying to, flirt or get to know anybody. I was just trying to deal with myself at the time. And then, you just decided one day to come say hello for some reason. And
but it was good then.
Oh, was I cooking? Oh, okay. Yeah, I was
You
making
were
fried
cooking.
chicken. That's what I was making, some fried chicken. Middle of the night for no reason. And then he just came down and was like, "Hey," and I was like, "Hi."
Now this is like after a month of you being there too, because the way my life was set up at that point was I was waking up at like 5 a.m. I think my internship started at like 6:30 a.m. because I was working in the cardiac rehab center, and so yeah, I think that started at 6:30 a.m. and then I had to be at my actual job that was paying me by 4 p.m. and then I wasn't getting off there until like 10 p.m. or so.
Jeez, I forgot you was working them crazy hours.
Yeah, and then it was just coming back home, having something real quick to eat, and then going to sleep and waking up and doing it again. I think I might have had like Tuesdays and Thursdays off, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but I think it was just predicated on how many hours I had left to complete the internship.
Okay.
So at that point, I wasn't. I knew you were there, but unless I saw you at nighttime or something, I ain't had no time to speak to you.
Yeah.
Plus, I was trying to play like Pokemon Go in between, or stuff like that at night. I was still trying to like live my own personal life because prior to me even coming to live with my frat brothers and stuff, and it was not a frat house. But prior to me coming to there, I had just gotten out of, or was on the verge of coming out of, 8-year relationship with somebody. So um, I was just trying to like enjoy me and do my own thing.
Yeah. So when he came downstairs to like basically introduce himself to me again, I'm going through a whole I don't trust nobody phase because after this friend of mine basically just threw me out for no reason, I was having a very difficult time with everything. But when he came to introduce himself, I was just like, "What's up?" He said I had like the worst resting B face at the time. Probably did. Because again, I just didn't have any interest in getting to know anybody. I was really just trying to get myself together. But he was, we were talking and he seemed cool. Like we were having this general conversation. And then somehow in there, I can't remember how got on the topic, but he was asking if I had ever had biscuits and gravy before. And for y'all who don't know, I'm from California. Okay, so people from California, it's not that we don't eat Southern food, it's just not something that's there really. Like it's something you go to eat when you in the holidays with your family who are in the South. So for me, the only thing I ever had was fried chicken, collard greens, cornbread, this the usual stuff. But anything he was talking about like fried green tomatoes and biscuits and gravy, smothered pork chops, I'm like, you lost me, sir. I don't know what you're talking about. So when he found out I never had it, he was like, oh, I gotta take you somewhere. And in my head, I'm like, you trying to ask me out? Because I'm just like, I ain't got time for none of this right now. But at the time, he couldn't tell I was thinking all this because I'm very good at, deflecting, like everything's fine. So I was like, sure, here's my number or whatever. So me being the paranoid person that I am, I just called one of my close friends from college who happened to be engaged. And I was like, girl, so this dude is trying to like take me out to get food and I'm just really not trying to date right now. And thankfully I had a good friend who's like, girl, just go. It could be nothing. Just have a good time. And I was like, all right, man, sure. So I'm on campus. He picks me up. We go eat some. We're in, going to school at TWU in Denton. So like we just go somewhere down there. And, I had a good time. And it was surprising because like I had every intention of being very distant because I had asked his frat brother about him. I'm gonna say, hey, what's up with this dude? Because, I was under the impression that he was still engaged to his last relationship. So I'm over here like, what kind of dude who's engaged taking out some random chick for brunch? Who is this? Like, what is his deal? Or whatever. So, I got the 411 on him or whatever from, the mutual friend. And so I wanted to see if he was going to be honest about it. Because again, we never talked about it the first day we met. So of course he was forthcoming about it. No issue. But it was just with him, why he was different than anybody else had talked to, I felt so relaxed with him. Like I didn't feel like I had to be guarded. It felt like I always knew him, and it was weird because it was just like why do I feel like I know you and I never met you a day in my life? Like before today, never spoke to you, never seen you anywhere. But I just felt really relaxed. And then like before I know it, I was like, he seemed cool. Like I like him. I want to like hang out with him again. And then, I reached out. Okay, so y'all, before I say nothing, before I say because
how you reach out though? How you reach out?
He is going to boost this.
No,
he
I'm
is
not,
going to boost this.
No, I'm not.
So I'm gonna say my side.
Yeah, you say it
because he's gonna make it something that it's not,
okay.
and because it wasn't.
Okay.
So when I reached out. I don't need you to decide right now.
Just don't cap. That's what I'm saying. Because you got to sit here. I feel like you capping already.
I'm not capping.
Crunchy ties be capping. You about to
boy.
you about to cap. You about to cap all of this. I feel it coming right now.
Whatever.
I feel it coming.
I'm not about to cap anything. So first of all, at the time, I had my little job at Chick-fil-A, right? Anybody who's worked food service knows that's freaking manual labor, right? So the next day after we have our little date, I have issues with neck pain. Out of nowhere, don't know why, I just do. And I learned when we was hanging out that he's a kinesiology major. So I was at work. I'm like, well, shoot, let me text him. Maybe he knows something to do to help with this. I don't know. I was not thinking deep about it like he was. I was just asking. He seemed cool. He seemed nice. Okay.
What you asked then?
I asked if you could help massage my neck.
Oh, okay.
That's what.
Yeah, you asked if I could do what?
You heard what I said.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Anyway.
Okay.
We
just met though.
He
felt real comfortable.
Read into it. I was literally just asking. He could have said no. He didn't have to be all whatever he doing over here, smooth talker. I was just asking, and you was like, sure. And now I don't remember the next.
Did it lead to something though?
It did.
Oh, okay then. Okay.
But we're not gonna get into all of this.
So that's the point. So and when you said that,
I didn't know.
Yeah, how you didn't know, Danny?
Because I was naive.
I was two young adolescents.
Adolescents? You mean adults? Adolescents, kids, nigga.
Adults, whatever, Adult lessons. We had lessons to learn as adults. Adult lessons. See what I'm saying? And then, because you learned that lesson that day. Right. Yeah, so you take a couple sips. That's what you need to do right there. So, yeah, you hit me up. And I was like, okay, well, cool. Because I didn't know, at that point, I was basically just living my life, having fun, because I was still detoxing from having an 8-year relationship. So I still had my ex's number. It's not that, like, she never called or anything like that. But at that point when we met and actually started talking, we hadn't talked for like weeks, basically. So I was just like out having fun. I had like a couple of other people of interest that like I was talking to, but like, I don't know, I was just talking to them. And so when you had hit me up, it's not like I felt that was your way of being like, yo, I'm kind of interested in you.
And it was. I'm not saying that it wasn't entirely, that it wasn't being flirtatious. That's not what I'm saying. Did I expect it to end up the way it did that night? No.
Well, I mean,
you Mr. Smooth Criminal over here.
No,
just gonna slide
that
in.
Wasn't. No, it wasn't. Okay.
Shoot your shot.
So let me finish what happened. So after I got the text from Danny or whatever, I was like, cool, because I don't think I had work, or I must have been off or something that day, because I remember we went and like got pizza and stuff.
But it was in the evening though, because I had work.
So, but that's what I'm saying. I don't think I had work.
Oh, because you did work nights. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, because I worked until like 10 or something. So I don't know, for whatever reason, I didn't work this day. It must have been just like an off day or something. So I was like, yeah, cool. So like I can give you a massage and I had like some tea and stuff from like Tijuana and like all this other type of stuff like that. So I think we had got some tea. I gave you a massage. It was an innocent massage at that point. And then you were like, "Oh, I'm hungry. We should go get pizza."
Yes.
And I know y'all don't know Danny like that. Danny is like pepperoni pizza all day, every day. Readily gets tired of it. She'll say I'm tired of it, but then want some later again. That's basically how Danny is. So Danny was like, "Yo, we should go get pizza." We go get pizza. We got some apple orchards.
Angry Orchard.
Angry orchards.
Yeah, Angry Orchard.
Yeah, angry orchards or whatever. And then we came back and I think we started watching Zootopia.
Oh yeah.
Now,
yeah.
at this point in my life, I had a air mattress, some little cheap, what do you call them, like a Chase?
Oh, the little gamer.
No,
thing.
they wasn't even gamer things, bro. They were just like them little lounge looking chairs. They do like a little swoop. Yeah. And so they do like a little swoop. And I had two of them, and I had like a stand from IKEA, my TV, and my Xbox. I didn't even have a PlayStation. I only had an Xbox, and that was it.
Oh, that's it.
Right. So Danny's talking about, oh, she gonna chill or whatever, and we watching this movie on my air mattress or whatever. So I was like, yeah, you know, there ain't much in here, but you know, feel comfortable, you know, feel at home, right? Now, mind you, she in the room next door, basically, but this is the most I've been like talked or hung out with her, you know, cool or whatever. So I'll let you go into this part.
We're not gonna talk about it in detail.
Okay, we ain't gonna talk about it in detail.
Nah.
Okay, so
basically,
Danny,
one thing led to another.
Yeah, because Danny felt real comfortable all of a sudden.
I mean, I did.
So after that point, as she said, one thing led to another. Danny has not left my side or bed or anything since then.
Nope.
Not at all. Like I tell her, it's really crazy. Like you really it seems like you need some mental attention or a therapist or something.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know, you was just like.
But he likes it.
Well, it's not, bro. This is listen. This is how you did this though. When I went because I had work the next day, because I wasn't like, all right, yeah, bye, get out. You know, I wasn't like that. But the next time I went to work, you texted me and was like, hey, what's going on? And I was like, nothing, you know. And then Danny goes with the, I'm gonna be in your room when you get back. So yeah. And at that point it was like, okay, so are we dating? Is that what we're doing?
Oh yes.
Or are we, you know? So and
I
we
was
were
claiming
like, yeah.
all of this immediately.
Yeah, so and that's how it started.
Because this is the thing, you want to act like I'm not saying that my move wasn't bold.
Oh, it was bold.
But
bold letters, capital. The bold. That's how you was.
Are you done?
You was out there.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
Just saying, it was bold.
But he had to be accepting of it. I wasn't on no stalker, like make me in type thing. Because if he would have been like, oh, whoa, pump your brakes, I would have been like, okay, they pumped. So he was cool with it. So before you know, y'all be reading into like, oh dang, she just, he was fine with it. Because if he wasn't,
I was cool with it.
He would have said something. So let's just, make that clear. But I've always been the kind of person that if I see something I want, I go after it. I was never a passive, just wait for him to make the next move type chick. Never chased the guy, but I made sure he knew I was interested. Like I didn't want him to ever question if I was into him or not. I was very forthcoming, which I think, overall you respected that because you knew, at least it's not just one-sided.
Yeah, and I think too, even at that point when we were like, okay, where are we gonna be or anything like that, we had a lot of open communication to that point of being like, okay, if we are going to date, let's go ahead and set some boundaries. Let's kind of get to know each other a tad bit more before we just quote unquote put a label on us, and let's figure this out. Cause like, yeah, you cool, yeah, you know, we converse well, but that don't mean like we about to do anything or get anywhere because we feel like we like each other at this point. So
Yeah.
you know, I know we had set, I knew myself well enough at that point that I knew what I liked, I knew what I wanted, I knew what I didn't want, because after coming out of an 8-year relationship, it's a whole lot of stuff you feel like, oh man, like if I ever get to do this again, like it's gonna be like this or whatever. So I set those boundaries like very, very early. I knew what I could handle and I knew what I couldn't. So when I asked Danny, like, yo, are you like this? Are you like this? Are you know, like, you know, I left it free for her to be honest, but at the same time, it was like, if you ever cross those boundaries, I asked you up front before we ever started anything, were you or were you not like this? So
Yeah.
if it was like out of there, if you start to hit the boundaries, and it was a do not pass go. I'm not doing those second chances type deals because that's how, I don't even know the word for it, but like that's where I was at in my life at that point. It was just like I didn't have time for that.
And I mean, yeah, and I was at the point too where I was very forthcoming with him about my flaws. I was very aware of myself. And like I told him, I'm like, hey, I'm not this. I have struggles with this because I wanted him to know he was getting himself into. I don't like to be someone who's like, oops, surprise, I'm crazy. Like he knew what he was dealing with. Now, of course, you know, as we were dating longer, he got to see the fullness of it. But he knew enough to where it wasn't like a complete blind side. There wasn't really anything that I surprised him with. Definitely not in the initial stages.
I don't.
Like,
I mean, honestly, I think based off of like the things that we talked about when we very first got together, of what our own flaws were, because I think that was like probably like the most refreshing thing about starting a relationship with us, is we both knew what our flaws were, not to where it was like, I don't think there's anything wrong with me, or I don't think that, you know. So like we were pretty spot on of just like, yo, this is what our problems and our flaws and our weaknesses are. And I don't think that like even today that like the stuff that we named then isn't our problems that we still work on now.
Yeah.
So for the most part, yeah, it was like there was no surprises. It was just like you hearing it and then seeing it in its totality was like, oh,
yeah,
okay, yeah, like
God,
you know,
this
like,
is what
like
you
Danny
need.
was like, I can be very emotional, and then so when it's just like, oh, you start crying or you know blowing up about something, it'd be like, oh, this is what you meant by that, like.
Yeah, like, or when he would say like, I can be lazy, and I was like, oh, okay, and then I'm like, oh, that's what you mean.
Procrastinate.
There we go.
Use the word lazy.
Was it procrastinate? Okay, yes. So but just in general, it was just like, it's one thing when someone says it, but again, it's better. It at least gives the person you're with a warning, like, hey, this is what you could see, you know, versus it being like, whoa, you didn't tell me this at all. Like, where is this coming from, you know? Because it's just really good in a relationship to just know what you're getting into. Not saying you need to be perfect by any means, but at the bare minimum, you need to be aware of yourself to help the other person. Because, you know, I come with my own baggage, he comes with his own baggage. It's not fair to make the other person unpack it. You know, you should be able to unpack it for them, be like, yeah, this is where I suck, this is where I'm good. Here you go.
So, I mean, in short, I mean, that's basically how we met, or how our first couple of months kind of.
Yeah, because we moved quick.
We what quick?
Moved quick.
Oh, yeah. We moved very quick, but I mean, I guess, you know, you can kind of save why particularly for another video or whatever.
Yeah, we can.
People want to address or whatever, but that's how it started.
That's how it started, but you know, this is the first video, you know. I think this will be fun. You know, we'll have topics about us. other topics just about dating, because one thing I want, if there's anything I want people to feel from my channel, is that we're a married couple just sharing our experiences and our insight. Because one thing that at least I've noticed with YouTube and TikTok and whatever social media drug there is out here, is that a lot of people who are giving relationship advice are not married. And I know for me, when I was dating, I would have loved to see a married couple who was not a pastor necessarily giving relationship advice, or not even advice, just an experience, because it can be kind of daunting when you're dating and you don't know if your situation is like normal, or if it's like it needs to always be a pastor, first lady type Christian relationship. And I just wanted it to be like, I mean, we're not pastors, we're just regular schmegular people. Like, and we just wanted to share our story with y'all and just give y'all our perspective, really.
Yeah, I mean, definitely like even our story then will be completely different now. We've grown, learned a lot since then, have have deeper relationships with not just each other, but Christ as well. So it's been a lot of growth in between when we started dating to like where we're at now. So I'm sure we'll probably like hit on that too.
Yeah, because we 5 years together, 3 years marriage now. So it's just, we want to just give as much wisdom as we can, because I think it will be helpful just to be there for as many people as we can through our platform. So thank y'all so much for tuning in. We'll get better at this whole editing YouTube thing over time. So if
I feel like I touched my face and was like looking up and off.
I feel like I was looking at the screen weird. Oh, so if my eyes just kind of, zoned out, sorry. I'm not used to looking at a camera and just looking at it. It's weird. It's really weird. So just, bear with us.
For the few of you who may or may not have watched it.
If 10 people watch it, cool. If one, whatever. It's just here for those looking for some couples to connect with and to what are you doing?
I don't know.
Just we're just here. So I will hopefully we're parents, so the goal is to be posted once a week. We'll see. We'll just see. But y'all have a good rest of your day, whether you're watching this at night, morning, whatever. We will tune in with y'all soon. Bye.
Oh wait, where's the thing?
It's over here.